Well, we did it! 20,000 subscribers. Not bad for less than a year of existing as a YouTube channel. To celebrate this milestone, we thought we would share with you some of our experiences in the field and dealing with military public affairs. So, if you're ready, let's get started. First off, let's celebrate with some statistics. At 20,000 subscribers, our channel is 10 months old. We've amassed over 3 million views, and we've put out over 200 videos, though some of these are shorts. There are about 9 YouTube channel members generously supporting us financially each month. For our original field reports, we've made about 8 trips, sending our one quote-unquote field correspondent out as far as Estonia. Again, not bad considering our channel was established in the last few days of January 2025. Right from the moment we established this YouTube channel, we knew for sure that we wanted to try and connect with militaries and go out into the field. There are so many military channels out there, some good, some bad, some very human, and others seemingly very, well, computer-generated. We don't use AI in our work, with the exception of computer assistance in cutting out objects from photos and generating subtitles. At the same time, we don't show our faces in our videos, and this has definitely led some people to accuse us of being a quote-unquote AI channel with an AI voice and AI research and AI scripting, none of which is true, by the way. Yes, being a faceless channel definitely feels like a drawback when it comes to connecting to our viewers. Now, the internet is a great resource, and it is indeed possible to get almost all the necessary information and visuals online to make our videos. But where's the fun in that? It definitely seems much more enjoyable to get out there and connect with service members in the field, or in this case, on the water. But it has been quite the journey to get to a point where some military units and/or ministries of defense have seen the value in inviting us, a non-traditional media entity, to their media events. Now, we won't name and shame anyone, but when it comes to being invited by certain countries/militaries, you can see from our videos, our On Location playlist, who is missing from NATO multinational units and who has been willing to collaborate with us. Believe us, it's not from a lack of trying. We've truly emailed everyone that we could think of across the Baltics. And we get it. We know our place on the media landscape. We aren't Reuters or the Associated Press, nor are we local/national media. We're not even a big YouTube channel. No, we are very humbly a small-time YouTube channel in the grand scheme of things. And so we totally get it that it may not be worth it to involve Baltic Defense Review. To put ourselves in the position of a public affairs officer of a military unit or at a Ministry of Defense, you definitely want to consider the media outlet and its audience. Not just the size of the audience, but the geography and demographics of the audience as well. For example, we've had really great responses and interactions from the UK and French public affairs officers representing their forces in Estonia. We imagine that these two countries are simply more open to getting their message out on an international level, in addition to connecting with the population of the host nation. However, we can understand why the newly/recently established German brigade in Lithuania, 4-5 Panzer Brigade, would have different priorities than dealing with a small military YouTube channel. Their public affairs priority, we can imagine, would be to really connect with the Lithuanian population and ensure that the general public of the host nation accepts them and their presence. We also imagine that the militaries of the Baltic nations would also not be too concerned about reaching an international audience and instead prioritize connecting with their own populations. A good example of this was our most recent field trip, which was only made possible through a good deal of persistence. But all of the other media at this Lithuanian field exercise? Well, local TV and radio outlets. All of this has prompted some self-reflection on our part as well. Who is our audience? What are we? Well, overwhelmingly, our audience consists of active and retired military, as well as military enthusiasts, a very narrow subset of society who already know the value of NATO's presence in the region. Understandably, you guys watching aren't really the target audience for military public affairs officers, who more often want to connect to the average everyday citizen to convince them to support a military presence. Fun fact, on a few of our field trips, we've spoken to soldiers and introduced ourselves only to get a response like, "Oh, that's you? I watch your channel." We love it when this happens. But the bottom line on this topic is that we truly get why our emails and requests may go unanswered, and it's okay. It means that we have more space and availability to travel to where we are actually invited. No hard feelings at all. When it comes to what our hosts allow us to say and record, we generally have a lot of freedom within the confines of operational security. And while they would obviously prefer that we only show the stuff that goes right, they also give us the freedom to show what doesn't go according to plan.
Unfortunately, this is illustrative of the process we've been going through over the last few days, which is finding the new faults on the gun that we haven't yet identified, and the ability for the crews to fault find and go through it.
This brigade commander was even quite honest that things don't always go according to plan, a level of straightforwardness that we greatly appreciate.
As militaries, we saw a few hiccups not really impacting the exercise itself. I'm impressed and happy. Highest level of discipline and execution itself. However, few hiccups. Those who notice that, they will keep their mouth shut, and the rest probably didn't understand.
While we've never felt censored, we do sometimes wonder if we would be invited back if we were to have a more negative slant to our field report videos. At the same time, we've also talked to these public affairs officers about how they've been the ones burned by journalists. It may have been a case of a pre-existing negative/anti-military bias, or sensationalizing a story to get more viewership. Or maybe just a misunderstanding and miscommunication. Really, there's a lot to consider. But as for us and our reporting, we hope that at the end of the day, all public affairs officers value freedom of the press as being something to be protected and honored, as long as it doesn't compromise operational security. But that's a bit of a behind-the-scenes look at our field trips and interacting with military public affairs. It's a bit sad that many of our NATO mission contacts across the region aren't in their positions for long. Just like other foreign troops, they're here on a rotational basis and switch out every 4 to 6 months. And so, on that note, we have to give a big shout out to all the guides/hosts/military representatives we've worked with thus far. Lieutenant M of the French Army, Captain J of the British Army, Captain R of the Canadian Forces, and Senior Sailor Dennis of Lithuania's Fusilier Battalion. We are so grateful for all of the experiences you've allowed Baltic Defense Review to cover in our first year. We also have to thank our YouTube channel and Contribee supporters for their one-time and monthly donations, money that helps us to offset the cost of travel for these trips. If you'd also like to support us financially, there are links to click in the video description. But if you've made it this far in the video, we thank you so much for watching and supporting us through your views, likes, and comments. Again, we really hope to bring you much more of these experiences in the months and years to come. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.